let's continue to work together to make Liberia a better place. The media is key. We cannot overemphasize the role you play, very important role or roles you play. We're grateful and we look forward to continuing the partnership. Press statement for immediate release. Monrovia, Thursday, May 30, 2024. CENTAL wants the government of Liberia address critical questions around sourcing of 285 earth-moving equipment. Says GOL's response so far does not address core concerns. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, fellow Liberians, greetings to all. Last week, the government of Liberia held a 3-day cabinet retreat during which the Minister of State without portfolio, Madam Mamaka Belete, announced that 285 pieces of earth-moving equipment have been presented to the government of Liberia in a virtual turnover ceremony attended by her, Honorable Sylvester M. Grispe, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, and Honorable Roland Lafayette Giddings, Minister of Public Works. A video released in this regard also features Mr. Su Ming, Senior Vice President of Sunny Group, a Chinese multinational heavy equipment manufacturing company and the third largest heavy equipment manufacturer in the world, and Robert Gumet, Chairman of Guma Group based in South Africa. The pronouncement has been greeted with mixed reactions from the public. On social media and other platforms, Liberians have welcomed the development but call for transparency, accountability, and full compliance with procurement and other related laws in acquiring the equipment. At a press briefing at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism on Tuesday, May 28, 2024, Information Minister Jeremy Pierre said the announcement made by Minister Belete was not as a result of an agreement reached, but rather an update on plans of the government. He stressed that even though the government of Liberia has the power to negotiate deals in the interest of the country, such deals will be negotiated with respect for the rule of law and separation of powers. Especially the government of Liberia's official position as communicated by the Minister of Information. We wholeheartedly welcome the government's plans to acquire multiple key assets and logistics to facilitate works and development in different sectors, including road or infrastructure, and in this instant case, if used for the internal purpose of purposes, this will help to bring much needed development to the country and transform the lives of Liberians in the wake of increased levels of poverty and infrastructure deficits in the country. Who wouldn't want development for the country? Who wouldn't want their county, district, town, or village road or roads constructed, rehabilitated, or maintained? However, we are deeply concerned about the pronouncement and the entire process surrounding it. Equally, we are appalled by the Liberian government's official response, which leaves more questions than answers. First, the announcement lacked the required details to adequately inform the public about the process. The government was not compelled to speak on the matter since it claims that the arrangement is premature or in its formative stage. Yet, if the video presented by Minister Belete is anything to go by, the pieces of equipment have already been marked with the photos of President Joseph Yuma Bakai, decorated with the Liberian flag and in motion as if en route to Liberia. Secondly, there is no publicly available information regarding a competitive bidding or tendering process that informed the government's decision to begin negotiation with a group to provide such huge quantity of earth-moving equipment reportedly valued at over 20 million USD, above the 1 million USD required for International Competitive Bidding, Procurement and Concessions Commission Act of 2010. Many questions linger. At what point of the process the Public Procurement and Concession Commission would have been involved? When the deal is in advanced stage or concluded, or as it appears to be? How then will the process be competitive and transparent? Third, that the government is reneging on divulging the source of the equipment or the company behind the deal, which reportedly has business interests in Liberia, is highly concerning. This singular act raises more questions about transparency, robustness, and integrity of the ongoing discussion, and even have implications for cases that will occasion the award of any contract or concession to them, the company or those at the center of the saga for works and services in Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, Liberia's history is replete with government negotiating deals that end up benefiting businesses and the officials involved at the expense of the public. We are also aware of the dangers of government receiving donations or gifts from companies with business interests in the country. Remind the government of the situation involving the 100 Toyota Hilux double cabin pickups donated to members of the 52nd National Legislature by ArcelorMittal, the company mining iron ore in Nima County. Following the donation, the Liberian legislature ratified the company's new mineral development agreement in 2007. Since then, there have been claims and counterclaims about the pickups influencing the decision of the government to ratify the new deal, which is believed to be largely favorable to the company. There have been multiple incidences of violence resulting from reported poor treatment of citizens by the company, especially those within the concession area, with little to no redress. It would be very difficult, if not impossible, to argue against the thought that the 100 pickups given then in the midst of the negotiation of the deal played a key role in government's treatment of the company. Recommendations. Fellow Liberians, the country deserves more transparency, openness, and integrity from her leaders. We urge President Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr. and his government to look into history and proceed with extreme caution in initiating discussions around potential support from individuals and groups, especially those with business interests in Liberia. The no business as usual promise of the president should be applied in this instant case. As important as the procurement of this equipment may be in alleviating the deplorable constraints faced by citizens, the lack of transparency around acquisition and tendering may paint a dark picture and erode public trust and acceptability of the project. We call for more transparency, competition, and inclusiveness of the processes around transfer of our national assets, as well as acquisition of equipment for rural agriculture and other critical sectors and activities. We urge President Boakai and his team to fully comply with the PPCC guidelines in any procurement-related matters. Equally, we call on the legislature to lead by example and be robust in independently performing, especially through ensuring transparency, accountability, and integrity around this and other related critical matters in the country. In conclusion, we applaud Liberians for their courage in speaking out on governance, accountability, and other issues bordering on their interests and the well-being of the country. We applaud their stance on this issue and encourage them to keep constructively engaged with the government to ensure more transparency, accountability, inclusion, and robustness in decision-making and implementation, especially those with implications for the future of the country, for the future and well-being of the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now is